Hey, just wanted to show the new progress made on Voxel Buddy Pro. So yeah, here's my usual thing. I take this and I just line Voxel Buddy Pro on there. But there's some new features. I now have primitives. I'm going to show you what that's like. I put a camera in the scene because it does work without a camera, but it works better with a camera because sometimes it'll fall out of the volume. Couldn't quite figure out why, but the default camera for After Effects is a little wonky. Anyway, so we're going to put a black solid on top there, and we're going to choose this cube. And now, as you can see, the voxels are actually inside this mesh. So we're using the new 3D mesh stuff from inside um, After Effects to our advantage. Um, yeah, so it's kind of cool. And I know you're like, well, there it is. You can just turn off this and you can control it with the cube mesh things. Now it does use the mesh options to scale. It does use the rotations and pivots and all that stuff as well. Whoops. So neat thing to do would be to say maybe make it really wide or really tall or have a lot more depth to it, and we can actually see it happen in real time, and we have controllers to finally move around the voxel stuff without having to fight the user interface with my plugin on the other part. That being said, you do have to choose that layer, and wherever you put that layer is where it exists. So, and if you noticed, I did cut off how bad it is on the ends. We also have some new gradation properties. So instead of just the gradient, we also have soft ends, which is there before, soft on all sides, which is there before. But I also did, we've always had solid, and now we have center band and diagonal gradient. And we can change these with what axis you're trying to do this on. So it gives you a lot more options for what kind of gradients to do. And as before, you can always control all the gradient options inside the density, brightness, solid gas blend, all those things. But now we have more control. So it's a little, it's very exciting to me. But it doesn't just do cubes because cubes are pretty boring. You've already seen cubes before. That's how I was doing it all the time before. I used to have a thing called shapes for inside here. I removed shapes because primitives cover shapes. Um, so let me show you how this is going to work. Under cube, actually let's do this. I'll show you some neat stuff about cube. We can actually bevel the edge, and my gas volume also bevels the edge. So it's working along with those things. But we also can go sphere and have the sphere, and you choose the mesh options, make your sphere big. We can even do the slice start and end. So it's cutting it just like the other one. And say you were like, well, I like this, but I want to make it so that way when I'm slicing this side, it does the other side. When you hit invert, it'll only invert theirs, but not ours. So you can get more control out of the voxels, and you can use them along with the meshes that are inside After Effects. It's very I think it's really cool. It does not work with planes. You will get an error because planes are flat and volumes are not flat. So it just doesn't work with planes. If you switch it to a torus, the torus options really help this thing out. The ring radius, the ring distance, um, and all that kind of stuff. And neat part about this is I've actually implemented a dynamic voxel thing. So it does dynamic overscan now. And you're probably like, well, what does that mean? It means when I take something like twist, it will change the voxel's volume to compensate, but our regular one here. I need something that's better than that. Let's go solid. Then you can see this as it goes. So before it would cut off a lot sooner. Now it cuts off a lot less, but we can still get this, and we get more because of what I did. I made it so there's less stepping happening in here from the ray marching that makes this so fast. So we've gained a lot of tools from inside this Voxel Buddy Pro. It still works with lights, it still works with everything else. We can still even slice the ends and have it work its way through that voxel shape. Like, look at that. That's pretty cool. Um, and it works with all the shapes. Cone was a tricky one. I need to like just remove whatever distortion I had on here. Cone was a tricky one. It doesn't act quite like you might expect. Hang on. All right. Cone, because we don't use real polygons, we're using volumes, seems to, how do I explain it? It'll grow in radius, or the bevels just act really weird, but the top radius will grow just like the volume version does. It matches this pretty well, right? But the thing that gets weird is when you start doing the bevel options on it. Ours bevels a lot sooner than theirs, and you just have to be much more finite with it. That makes sense. So cones are a little wonky. That's my one that I tried for so long. I spent like 2 hours on it and could not get it to match. But everything else matches perfectly. It's just cones because of their angled version of beveling is just it's just wonky. I don't know. So anyway, that one I'll probably fix down the road. I am also trying to make it look exactly the same in After Effects for Mac as it does in PC. Right now they look a little different, but they are pretty much the exact same thing. So this is the new stuff. We now have every primitive as possible in there. We now have new um, gradients and we have adaptive sampling. Everything else is pretty much the same. Didn't change much to it, but this does give a lot more options to to whomever is using it. Why is the color bias not changing anything in this? It should. Okay, we'll go that direction. You know what? I've been kind of noticing this as well. Whenever you do a color bias, it's not working right. Did I break something? Every time you reorganize the menu, sometimes you can break the menu. I might have made it too bright. Oh, it's because I'm on solid. If you gradient, then it actually shows the. Yeah, that's on me. It's because it was on solid. All right, so yeah, and you can still twist it, and it makes twisting everyday shapes a lot better as well. That being said, this isn't just for 2026. If you have a earlier version of After Effects and you're dead stuck on just using that one for some reason, um, that's fine. You can do that. There's no reason you can't use my plugin as well. It's just not going to have primitive support. What happens is you use the thing and this will be grayed out. Oh, also, if you notice, none of these controls you can do anything with when you're using a primitive as your object. So we have a lot more control. It's way more exciting to me. I'm going to get this out to you guys pretty soon for new adjustments, but I wanted to share this with everybody at Camp MoGraph and anyone who was beta testing from before. We've got more options now. It's got more control. It always bothered me how I couldn't have a volume to maneuver things around. And you know what? They fixed it for me by creating primitives and me just accessing it. So that's pretty cool. Way to go, After Effects. I think this is going to be a really cool product. I'll try to launch it by the end of this month. That's it. And I hope you guys, I'll send out spreadsheets if you guys want to know how much I'm trying to sell this for, or if you have an idea of how much it should cost, let me know. I am basing this off of how much time I've spent on this. This has been, God, when did I start this? November? No, October? Yeah, and we're into March. So a lot of my time has gone into this besides having clients that I have to work for. So I put my heart and soul into this one. I'm really trying to make this like the go-to plugin for After Effects. I think I'm going to try to make a version for DaVinci Resolve for all those people who just hate After Effects for whatever reason. But you know, I want everyone to enjoy everything about this. Yeah, we also get cool things like this. So I want to check something else out. Just for me be having fun. Let's offset the center of this and now we can get more cool swirlies. Woo! All right. Anyway, this is the new update. Please tell me what you think. I'll talk to you later. Bye.